space with these, and every time the balls pop because they go into the tank. But other than that, I love doing that whenever I go to camps because I don't have to say a word, and I come out and I throw the beach ball, and automatically it just happens. It just starts. You guys play wonderful games with beach balls. In fact, somebody tell me what happened right in here just 3 minutes ago before we lost the beach ball. What happened? What game started?
Brian yelled free bird.
Free bird! Where's Brian? You're the one that doesn't want to have pants on, right? I knew it! I knew! I didn't have to see it. Me and Ann are out there talking about our 2-year-old, talking about how we don't like pants anymore. My 2-year-old does not want to wear her pants. And I'm like, yo, we are in a grocery store. You need to have your pants on. The man said, comes by and said, we don't have to have our pants on?
If we do, I'm leaving.
I'm saying, we're at camp. Not have to have your pants on. It always happens wherever I go, and this game starts. So free bird is a way we could call it. What else? What was the game that started? Somebody tell me. You can make a name. What's that? Volleyball. Sort of volleyball, yeah. It's keep it up game, right? Yeah. Keep it up in the air game. Right? We'll call it free bird. No pants, free bird. All right. So we're playing no pants, free bird. Somebody tell me what the rules are in this particular game.
No pants.
No pants, first and foremost. Okay, second rule. What's the second rule to this keep it up, no pants, free bird game? Don't let it hit the ground. The sort of implied rule in the keep it up, no pants, free bird game. It must be the second implied rule, because the first implied rule to no pants, free bird would of course be no pants. Okay, so keep it up, don't let it hit the ground. What are the rules? Don't lose it. That's a rule that would be very specific to this group. Very good. Don't lose it. Any other rules? Don't hold on to it. Why? Why can't I either just catch it or just keep hitting it up myself? Because it sucks for everybody else. I mean, there's 70 people in the room. Everybody wants to play.
That's almost as bad as wearing pants.
I'm saying. I'm saying. I might as well go put your pants back on and have no fun. Right? Very good. Okay, so yeah, so don't hold on to it. Go keep it to yourself, so pass it on. Any other rules? We're at camp, so probably we're playing a game. At some point we're going to say we need to all be safe because we're at camp. And then we're going to say we need to have fun. And in fact, since we're camp people, we probably say the opposite order. We need to have fun. Oh yeah, and be safe. Anything else? Any other rules? You guys pretty much got all the rules. I mean, it's not a really complicated thing. But keep it up, right? So interesting to me. Because you all automatically know how to play this game. I don't know what you all do in your lives outside of here. I'm a summer camp person through and through. It's what I do all the time. So I know how to play this game. I think some of you all are nurses, and some of you all are doctors, some of you all are other things. But camp people know what to do with a beach ball no matter what. Not everybody knows what to do with a beach ball. Not everybody does. In fact, I've been to several places. The most stark example was when I did at the opening keynote address to an insurance seminar. 300 insurance agents, we have any insurance agents in the room? Oh. We might need them. They're not like you all. They're not like camp people. Because I get out there, I was so excited to be with this group because they wanted me to come and do this whole thing about communication. So okay, I come and do this whole thing about communication. And I'm standing there and I'm just like this, right? And I'm like, you know, there's 300 insurance people in the room that look at me like this. I'm like, okay, and I take the ball and I do exactly what I did right now. And I throw it out into the audience and I swear nothing happened. Fell to the ground and everyone was like, y'all don't know communication. We've got some work to do today. So, but I start with that, and I would typically be showing you the beach ball right now, but I start with the beach ball as a really good example of who you guys are. Who you guys are. I don't know what you all do. I've never experienced your week of camp. Some of you maybe have never experienced either. Some of you are brand new to this. I've never done it, so I don't know. I don't know what your kids are like. I don't know what you guys do, but I know who you are. You guys are this beach first of all, you guys already get it. You guys are camp people, so you get it. Yes, you bring all different kinds of experiences with you. Some of you, maybe that's medical. Some of you, maybe that's social, right? Some of you are just like, hey, I'm just going to do this week of camp because it's fun. I don't have to wear pants. Woo! Right now, with this particular kid, it's about perspective. Problem solving is about having the right perspective. And what does that mean, being right here, right now? 2 summers ago, I rolled up on a game of Duck, Duck, Goose. This is my first session, kicked it out to them. And right as I get there, I literally like stepped onto the scene, and the ducker freaks out. As like a meltdown. Now, if you've ever seen Duck, Duck, Goose before, you know that the ducker is not typically the one who freaks out, right? So I'm like, what's going on here? So the ducker freaks out, runs away, I kind of follow. The ducker sits down, and I say, and he calms down a little bit, and I say, what's up, man? What happened? And he says to me, they were all yelling at me, even the counselors were yelling at me. And I'm like, what were they yelling at you about? And he said, they all wanted me to pick a goose. I'm like, whoa, yeah. Because it's Duck, Duck, Goose. Scott, why would I pick a goose? What do you mean? Why would you pick a goose? Because it's like, I feel like I'm getting frustrated with this kid. I'm like, dude, just pick a goose, right? You know, so he says to me, this is amazing, right? He says to me, Scott, if I pick a goose, then only me and like one other kid are playing. I wanted to play a game where everybody gets to play. So I was just gonna keep going around and saying duck. That way everybody gets to play. Right? And it's like a 10-year-old, I seriously had to like back up from it. I was like, dude, you just like blew my mind, right? Like, I have a brand new worldview right now because of what you just said, right? Because of course, right? And then I got all excited, and I'm like, okay, so here's what was going on really, right? Because like you had different expectations than they did, and I totally get it, and I totally agree with what you're saying. Let's go back, we'll fix the game. And he's like, you know, okay. So we go back and whatever, and because I was like, yo, you really want to play duck, 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 and let's figure out a different game because I like this kids idea better than all of your ideas because you want to play a game where everyone gets to play. And I walked away thinking to myself, whoa, right? It's about perspective, right? It's about being on the ground in that moment, right? Why were the other kids and the counselors even yelling at him? Because they weren't present right now. What's going on? They didn't have to sort of wherewithal to say, well, so what? Why are you just saying duck, man? This sort of culture, right? They've created this life. They've created kids, adults, volunteers, parents, a wider community that identify with what it means to be a member of their community, of their culture. So how do we do that? I'm going to argue that it's 2 things. That it's knowledge plus participation on some kind of level equals membership. Right? So let's break down exactly what I'm saying. The more you know about something, a community, a culture, an existence, procedures, where things are, what you do, what things are called, the more you know about something, and the more you can engage as far as participation, and that's different for a lot of people, right? It's different for an 8-year-old than it is for a 14-year-old, than it is for a junior counselor, than it is for a camp parent, than it is for an alumni, than it is for a wider community member. But there's a way to participate in that community. So you add what you know about it, and you add how you can participate in that community. And what does it equal? It equals membership in that community. The more we can heighten those things around knowledge and participation, the stronger the feeling of identification will be. The stronger the membership will be in your kid picks up the ball, throws the ball to the other kid, but the other kid gets in the head. The counselor standing right there, right, says to the kid who just throws the ball, hey, dude, you're out. Oh, well, yo, before you go out, go say what to that other kid? Sorry, right? I mean, this is like such a classic moment. We have all seen it. We've all been there and seen it, right? And so I want to just take a minute and like deconstruct the I'm sorry. Like, what is that? What's happening in this moment right now? Like, what do we want to have happen with that kid? Why? I'm sorry. And if we were to really break it down, all of us would go to that same place, right? Well, first, we probably want the kid to be like responsible or accountable. Like, he broke a rule in the game, right? Now, we might even say to him or her, hey man, like I know you didn't mean to, right? Like I saw that she ducked, put her head in the way, right? Like, So I know you didn't mean to, but even when we break a rule, even if it's inadvertent, when we break a rule in a game, you take responsibility, you're accountable to that, and you need to go out, whatever, right? Or where does this universal headhunting rule even come from? Well, of course we don't want kids to get hurt, right? So, you know, there's underneath this I'm sorry, there's some idea of like caring or compassion. We don't want to, you know, the game is a hurt ball, and a game isn't like hurt the other people, right? It's dodgeball, right? So there's underneath this I'm sorry has something to do with like caring or compassion or empathy or so on and so forth, right? Now, would you all tell me, in your 1 week of camp, or for some of you who are blessed to do more than 1 week, are things like teaching kids responsibility, accountability, caring, compassion, and empathy, like are these the kinds of things that we teach at camp? Absolutely. This is like entirely what camp is about, right? Do we actually care whether they get somebody out at dodgeball? Do we care whether they get a bullseye at archery? Do we care whether their art project looks right? Nah, none of that stuff matters, right? Like that's the kind of stuff that we're teaching. Yet, in that classic moment that I just described, we all know what it actually looks like, right? You know, the counselor says, hey man, you're out. Yo, before you go out, say sorry to her over there. And what does this kid do? Oh! Sorry. Right? And you know what's so funny about that moment? It's like, it's hilarious to me to watch those kind of moments because most adults are like totally fine with that moment. Most adults are like, he said he's sorry? Right? Does that kid that I just role modeled for all of you, does that kid understand anything about what we just wanted to talk to him about and accountability, responsibility, caring, and that kind of stuff? No! Not at all, right? I was at, or I didn't ask, they asked me what I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I said I want to talk to them about leadership, right? And this is like one of the most practical applications, one of the most on-the-ground moments that we could have that shows good leadership. This is actually not what happened. Let me tell you exactly what happened at my camp. So I'm just, you know, watching this dodgeball game, you know, 40 kids in their minds, and this kid, you know, picks up the ball, throws the ball. And the counselor says this, hey dude, you gotta go out, oh, yo, before you go out, why don't you go see if she's okay? And I watched the whole thing happen, the kid went over, you okay, you know, whatever. She said she was okay, and then the kid said something like, okay, because when I come back in, I'm gonna come and get you. He goes out, he's like totally fine being out or whatever. And so 10 minutes later, they take a break, I call the counselor over and said, what's up with that? You know, like I saw that whole thing with the kid, why didn't you just have him go say he's sorry? And he was like this 19-year-old looking at me, right? And was like, you saw the whole thing? I was like, yeah, I was standing right there. He said, so you saw him like pick up the ball, throw it, hit her in the head. I was like, yep. I saw the whole thing. And he said, so you wanted me to tell him to go say sorry? And I was like, well, yeah, that's kind of the typical, you know, response, whatever. He was like, dude, if you watch that whole thing, he was not sorry, man. He picked up the ball and like purposefully threw it as hard as he could at her. In fact, I think he might have done the same thing like very next time he came in. Why would I have no one say he's sorry? He's not sorry. And I was like, okay, all right, he's not sorry. He was like, but you know, I know he wasn't trying to hurt her, so I just want to make sure, you know, he was like checking in with her or whatever. And he was just like 19-year-old. I was like, that's it. You got it. You got it. You were paying attention during staff training or whatever. I mean, you got it. That's what leadership actually is. That's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today.